MBA programs are slashing tuition by 50% as AI disrupts colleges and universities. And is there a more worthless way to spend your time than spending a bunch of money, 50, 100, 200K, to get a piece of paper that says that you know about business or somebody taught you about business, when you could just basically boot up a ChatGPT subscription and essentially get an MBA level business teacher at your fingertips, giving you instant answers on the fly? Getting an MBA in this day and age is essentially career suicide. Now, I think if you go to an Ivy League school, maybe not all of them, but a few of them, and you do get an MBA from like a Harvard or Dartmouth or some school out there that still has a strong network, your MBA might be worth something. But if you're going to get a random MBA from some random school in Colorado Springs or Florida or Tennessee, California, anywhere for that matter, that has no clout or strong network, you're essentially lighting your money on fire, because we've seen how fast AI is moving right now. And within 2 or 3 months, the model could be infinitely more smart or more intelligent than a college professor. And what are these professors actually teaching? They don't know anything about, a lot of them don't know anything about business. They're just teaching about business. They might not actually have ever started a business themselves, right? They might not have any real world experience with a startup. With an AI, you can essentially get at least the pattern average of the best route you can take to start your own business, right? And you can keep asking it questions. You can build a business intelligence from your favorite business leaders, right? You know, the AI that I use basically is trained to think like Naval, Elon Musk, Sam Altman, these legendary startup people who know how to build leverage, influence people, and scale successful startups. If you go to some random business school in God knows where and you get an MBA, who is actually teaching you how to run a business there? No one that can really give you any sort of practical knowledge. And you can see how AI is disrupting knowledge work in real time, because a university and a college, when it first started, they started in times when, you know, a lot of people were illiterate and education wasn't a standard, right? Not everybody could read. There needed to be these like institutions where people could go with other like-minded people, learn things and push people and build a network so they could go do great things in the world. That's not what really college is anymore. It's so inflated. The tuition is just so inflated at this point that it just doesn't make any sort of financial sense. And these universities are taking advantage of people, charging a premium to build a network and get knowledge that is essentially out of date or maybe isn't practical, right? So if you think about how information has evolved, it started in tribes, and then during medieval times there was like a few libraries scattered around, and then pretty soon every town and city had a library, and then you had the internet, right? But think about at every time there was like a concentration of information or education that you could tap into that knowledge or intelligence, it takes time. There's so much friction. You would have to go to the library. You'd have to look for the book. You'd check the book out and then you'd read it, right? A lot of books, you know, it might be 500 pages and there might be 100 pages of actual worthwhile knowledge. Now you can cut through all the noise within seconds using AI. Same thing with a university. You choose a good university that's supposed to hire the best teachers. That teacher comes up with a curriculum and then they teach from it, but it's so slow moving before they can actually get to the point, right? It's literally 3 or 4 months of coursework, multiple assignments, so you can finally get it. You can literally do all that stuff in an hour with AI, cut through the noise, right, and get the answer that you're looking for. Now, you could also say that some of this AI stuff lacks depth, right? But at the same time, you know, you can learn the depth along the way. If you really want to go deep into finance with AI, you can go really, really deep with finance. If you really want to go deep into marketing with AI, you can go really deep in marketing, dentistry, all sorts of different things. So if you really want to be a subject matter expert with AI, maybe it'll take you 3 to 6 months of studying every single day to essentially get the same knowledge you would have spending 4 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars on a college degree, right? And you literally, Google's goal was to organize the world's information, right? That's already happened. Now, AI is basically giving you the world's information in a few clicks within seconds, right? Now, I think as far as whether this is good or bad, I think this is net good because you're talking about deflation. You know, college degrees are inflated right now. They need to be deflated, and they've been fleecing people for, 30, 40, 50 years. I don't know when the prices really skyrocketed, but the amount they're charging these kids and these families for tuition with these loans that they just have no chance of ever paying off in a job that the salary hasn't gone up in years is just absolutely criminal. So I welcome this stuff right now. Colleges and institutions like this, they're just way overbought. Okay. And now you can kind of see how AI is disrupting them because kids are like, what's the point of getting an MBA? Maybe 15 years ago, if you got an MBA, it was a differentiator, but now it's a detriment to your career in your future. So let me know what you guys think about this whole MBA thing, but it's something that AI is disrupting, and I'm curious to know your thoughts as well.